Hey, everybody. It's hot here. We've only got half an hour to go. Ham will call in. Let me quickly look at the prices around the league. I think they're not. Um, GTII is up to 14 cents. I did my talking about GTII. I'll answer questions, but briefly if they come up. But until Reichman goes or Alpine falls, there's not much to talk about there. GDC's in the green. Logic's in the red. RCRT is in the red. Those stocks that I don't talk about are in the red. MMAT is in the red. DJT, Finger is slightly in the red. DJT is in the green, up 57 cents at 44. Nvidia is down 11, so I guess their earnings were boring, 942. I still think they're going to get that over 1,000. GME is 2190 in the red. And I don't know what else to look at. That gives you a flavor of what's going on out there. HNRC's down. Well, all these stocks are being sold. And Cliff, I actually think that if I talk about a stock, they come in and short it. My guess is people are, well, in the case of HNRC, I would say there's a couple of things that might be going on. One is people are tired of waiting, and it's been a long wait. He promised a cash dividend by the end of last year, and he mentioned that he's going to make a dividend of HNRA within, I think, 120 days of the D-SPAC, so he could announce it anytime. He hasn't done that. The worldwide holdings, which is in your account if you qualified for it, the SEC still hasn't approved it for trading. And now that it's in a new year, they have to file the financials for the whole of last year. And so that's been a delay. So I guess there's a lot of reasons just to be negative on it and get out. No, it's not working. And, it's what a market is. People get impatient. But the company has a net asset value at the end of the year of 42 cents a share. I think each of the dividends will be worth more than 2 cents a share, probably more than 5 cents a share. And admittedly, if you look at some of their releases or their filings, they issued some more stock. So I wouldn't use 42 cents, maybe 30 cents a share as their NAV for the time being. But he's added copper, he's added gold, he's added oil, he's continuing to add additional projects, including he's creating a token. Well, it's the gold company doing it, a token based on the gold, and he intends to distribute to shareholders that, for lack of a better word, token, which is worth $9 million, according to his interview. So, yeah, it's good to be negative on HNRC. It hasn't done anything. It's, you wait for the SEC, the shorts keep selling, and that's a risk. Maybe he did a deal with a short firm, but these stocks just keep going down, down, down. And you just finally, you give up. You say, you know what? I'm not going to win. The story is all bullshit. It's a scam. The only thing that are only people telling the truth are the shorts, because at least they're upfront about it. They're selling stock every single day that doesn't exist. The regulators don't enforce the rules, and so the stocks are just going down. And so there's no reason to own them. And that makes perfect sense, Cliff. It makes perfect sense. I I think I think I think sometimes these stocks go up. Look at GME and AMC last week, and I think the the HKD and the TOP of about a year ago when they went over $1,000 a share. It happens, but it's hard. It's hard waiting for it. GME, you had to wait almost 3 years, and you got to run to 65, 70, and it's back down. But it's not pleasant, Cliff. All I can think in HNRC's case is just a complete give up of people. I don't want to wait for it anymore. I don't care about oil and gas. I don't care that their earnings positive and they have revenues and their NAV is over 30 cents a share, and their Cunningham Resources has 342 million in reserves. I just don't care. The stock's just going down. It's going down. Get me out. And that's certainly one strategy. It's just get out. So I don't know what to tell you. I think HNRC, much like some of the other companies we've looked at, kind of has a deadline here in May to get their annual report, their first quarter done, and to get any announcements done before another quarter goes by. But maybe it'll be another quarter. Maybe it'll just drift downward and downward and downward. That's my reaction on HNRC. Finger, I didn't see it going. It's down 3 cents at 315. 207,000 shares. Not terrible, but not particularly exciting either, not particularly exciting. All right, we'll see if Ham can call in at some point so you don't have to listen to me. It's hot here.
Battery 100%. Connected to Bill's iPhone.
So, all right, here we go. All right. Don't burp. You're live.
Say it again, William.
Don't burp. You're live.
I'm sorry. No, I had taken my son somewhere, and I was sitting in the heat in the car, put me right out, and fell asleep. But anyway, I'm ready to go. I had a call before William, and I brought everybody up to speed on what I see going on. And I'll just, to your people, if they didn't tune in before, we have 3 people running to be the president of the United States. One is in a coma, and the other 2, one of them is going to win. And both of them are now turning this into a political issue about naked short selling. And William, I broke down the days. There's 166 days. Take away the weekends, there's 23 weeks. Take away the weeks, there is so it's like down to 120 days of left that's left before the election.
Did you take out Monday's holiday?
No, make it 119. And you know what, people, when we used to trade, when there was something of a deal coming on, something with a date, you really have to start understanding dates are important. Okay. And as you move closer, stocks are going to move into that event. So be aware of the dates. I just gave you the dates, 166, take away the weekends. You're talking about 120 trading days. Now I don't take away the holidays, whatever. I don't know how many of those. Let's say there's 5 of those of Monday or Friday or whatever it is. So you're down to like 115 trading days, and these days go fast. So pay attention, because what I believe is naked short selling is going to give people an opportunity to have life-changing trades. And a couple of stocks that I think that could be it, and these are my opinion. I think DJT is going to open up 100 one day. I don't know how to play it. I don't have money to buy a $50 stock. Maybe there's a long-term option that you can buy. I don't know. I haven't looked at it. That's one I think is, if this is going to work, that's going to be a home run. There's 700 million shares short. Devin Nunes, Trump, they all know about it. I know. I'm trying to get to him to to get him to be more aggressive, William. I told him you can't come to a gunfight with a knife, and that's what he's doing. I was pretty pissed off that Devin Nunes didn't get back to me because they let this guy Kennedy come into the game for $24,000. He threw his hat in the ring, which is great for all of us. But I wanted Trump and these guys to take control of the whole thing. And like everybody else, they move slow. I don't move slow because I'm here to help force settlement and save our asses. I couldn't give a damn about political nonsense. Go for it and just make it happen. I still believe Devin Nunes is working with the Senate, and you're going to get the hearing. I just don't know. They haven't got back to me, so I can't tell you today. I've been hearing from the camp it's coming. That's what I heard. I tried to make a bet on it. It worked. Shame on me. I lost. That's the way it goes. All right. I would say wait till you see it. But again, 120 days is all that's left. Trump, if he's going to do anything with his company, it has to happen within those 120. He can't do it if he's the president to help his own public company go up. So all the action is coming now. Don't believe it. Don't believe it. That's how I see it. All right, William. I wanted to talk about William. Me and William were talking that we want to turn these William calls into as I call it, it's funny. I was just on the call with my friends, and they used to host these idea dinners, and it was very famous back in the day. All the biggest players on the street.
Oh, that investment bank that would have the best ideas. Forgot the name.
And they would have these dinners and invite guys like Stevie Cohen, the guy from Fidelity. All these people would go, and they would sit there with their research and show their best ideas. And those stocks used to take off. It was, a great way for people to talk about it. And I think, listen, William is a very strong professional guy that understands fundamentals. I'm not that guy, but I like to hear the stories. And I think it's something that we should move into because the naked short selling thing is coming to a head. Pick your stock, make your bets, and we got to get past it because we can't say the same thing. For example, William spoke about GTI, put a video up. Until management leaves, we can't do anything about it. Where's the 500 million shares short? I have no fucking clue. Believe me, I wish I knew. I just told my friend, we busted the short. We busted the prime. He goes, well, it goes up the ladder. I go, what's the next peg on the ladder? I don't know where it's going. I've never took down a prime broker before. That's like prime brokers going out of business on major events. How that happened, I don't know, but we did it. So now we have to figure out where this thing lives, and we don't know. And I'm not chasing it down. I just don't know. No one I know understands it. We don't know. So there's nothing to talk about. One day that stock will go. Management leaves, it'll really go. That's the end of the conversation. We can't talk about it anymore. So it's an idea. If you want to play it, God bless you. If you don't want to play it, go find something else. And when that does start to make a move, then you can jump in because wait for the news to come, then jump in. Finger Motion's being very active on Twitter, William. I don't know if you've seen it. They're posting stuff about what they're doing in their business.
People have told me, and I, at first I wasn't all that impressed, but they made it clear to me, and it's true. The company's communicating with investors. They're being transparent.
I didn't know about it either. Someone told me about it, and I started following them on Twitter, and I see the information now, and they're telling you, this is a real company in the biggest market in the world, and you know what? That's the fundamental end. You can watch it, listen to Williams' videos. The CEO gave a speech at the NASDAQ 3 weeks ago, and when he spoke at the NASDAQ, I thought the stock was going to take off then because it's a super powerful event, and the shorts laid into it. I heard that there's a short in the stock that's given up, that there was a new short came in and tried to take advantage of when they spoke at the NASDAQ and pushed it down from 390 back down to 3. And he's given up, I'm hearing. Giving up, he's out of 10 shares buys, he may sell 1. The last few days, he has been selling 7 out of 10. All right, so he tried to break it. I told you there's 3 funds buying it out of Connecticut. They buy it a little every day. I don't know what their positions are. I'm not at liberty to tell anybody who they are. and they're buying it, and they took the onslaught on, and I guess maybe he's going to fold. That's not Lynn Partners. This could be some other stray guy. I don't know who it is. But remember, when he turns, he can light up the real short, which is 2.1 million. He can light up the naked short. Either way, they're all going to get roasted, and the more the merrier, and they're all going to get roasted. And that event is coming. I believe the naked short selling is going to end soon. Finger motion is on the top level. Okay. GameStop, if we want to talk about that for a second, where is Roaring Kitty, their leader? If you want to lead, have the balls to come out here and lead. He's not a leader. He disappears, and everybody's stuck. Now, do I think it's going to work? Eventually, maybe you'll get another squeeze out of it. But you know what? I don't know. The guy Kennedy bought the stock. I don't even think he knows what he's doing. I think he just took a shot because it is the hottest name out there. And I can't blame him for taking a shot on GameStop. All right, so that's all I can tell you about GameStop. The guy, Ryan Cohen, is a short squeeze guy. He understands it. And will it happen again? He told you he's selling 45 million shares of stock. You know, if the company had 70 or 80 million shares, 45 million up to 120 now. So, you know, he's got money. What's he going to turn it into? I told you, just go buy Bitcoin to buy Apple computers. Better off than building his company because no one can yell at him then. AMC, he just sold 80 million shares of stock at 3 3/4. Again, William, whoever bought it, how come they didn't file it? If I bought 80 million shares of a company, trust me, I'd be walking around with a sign that I bought it and it's going higher. There's no one saying boo. That means the short seller gave the company money and covered. That's how it looks to me. Anybody who bought it on the long side would be proud to tell that they own it. No one said boo. It's been 2 weeks already. No one said a word who bought it. So, you know, you would have to file sooner or later, and I haven't seen anybody file. That's a lot of stock. All right, so imagine Ken Griffin short 300 million shares at its average price of 20 or 15. He just bought back 33% of it at 3 3/4. When the stock ran to 12, he sold it again and pushed it back down again. So don't worry about these guys. They know how to make money. All right, they have a lot of money. But naked short selling is coming to an end. The CAT system, William, the CAT system is in place, blah, 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 blah. It needs to be enforced. The CAT system will expose the frauds because they get to see their names. I don't care about that. I don't care who's doing what. If you settle the trades, there is no fraud. To settle the trades, no one can carry a position for free forever. And that's what you're seeing now. People are carrying positions forever. But anyway, let's get back to the new topic. I want people to actually call William up. You remember a trading desk, I worked on a trading desk with 60 people. What the guy on the end saw is not what I see, or this guy, what she saw, or Cindy saw, or this one saw, or Helen saw. We all saw different stocks or heard different stories. Talking about it helps people find ideas that can help make you money. You can have maybe someone on the call is a chart guy. When someone says a name, we can say, anybody, what do you think about the chart? You can be the middle of this whole thing. And we can see and hear what people are talking about. I only follow, 30 or 40 stocks, and most of them are big stocks. I don't really follow small ones. And maybe with William, we thought maybe change it up a little bit. Let's not dump 2 stocks on both of us forever. We like to hear other names too. And that doesn't mean I'm going to invest in them, but I like to hear about it and say, hey, you know what, something? I think this Wolf is a good story. I still think Wolf's a good story, but you know what? Maybe someone could do a deep dive and figure out what the hell, how come it doesn't move? I don't know. And I think that that's something that I think William would be great at. And I think with, a couple of hundred people talking, we can find great ideas. Someone speaks with someone in management, or my cousin knows somebody, or this and this. They got a new FDA coming up in 6 months, and it's been life-changing for people that, things like that. We want to hear it. So instead of beating something we have no control over all day, we're all wasting our lives talking about the same 2 stocks. It's time to make your bets. One is going backwards because we lost track of where the 500 million is. And the other one, I believe it's Showtime on, but I can't tell you to buy it. So there's nothing to talk about. So you know what the story is. All the information's out. I post it all day long. That's my opinion. That's my pick. You want to ride that horse? Ride that horse. I've been studying it for a long time, so that's what I look at.
Somebody's asking about Barnes and Noble, which is way up.
Wow.
With I think a little bit of volume. BNED. But it's broke. It looks like, I don't know. It could break out if it goes above 2.25. I don't know what's
You know
going
what's so
on.
funny about Barnes and Noble? I think the symbol was BKS. I have no idea what it is anymore. Is that still the symbol?
Boy Ned, BNED. Barnes
BNED.
Noble Education.
So Barnes and Noble, when it was BKS, was $30 stock, and they were rumored to take over some other book companies too. Books a Million. One of Books a Million was one of the names. Was they were talking about, and I'm like, these guys never did a deal when they had the currency.
Right.
They could have bought many different ways to go out there. I remember the rumors. You go back in time and go look at Barnes and Noble rumors. There were many, and for them not to do anything that whole time, is stupid. And they let the world pass it by. And they let the world pass it by. So maybe it's time.
Yeah, it seems like something's going on. But anyway, let me see if there's any other names they put up. There's a stock that I have been sworn to secrecy on. Not secrecy, just don't talk about it live because it's a jinx. But you know it. You're in one of them. The other one you're not in. At the end of the alphabet. Any word on it?
I'm following someone else. GDC just got great news. They're going to get delisted.
That's probably good news, right? The way it goes. God.
Bad news is good news. Good Finger Motion has done nothing but release good news after good news and good news, and the stock keeps getting sold.
Yeah.
So bad news, GDC is getting delisted.
Sorry, nobody can hear you, but I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you could. I just said that GDC had nothing but bad news, and the stock goes up now. Is ringing the bell on the Nasdaq. Big investors. It's a big deal. The stock went down 7 cents.
Unbelievable.
So why would you even want to be in the equity market? I'll just go back to it for a second. South Korea is destroying the United States. I don't know if I talked to Kristen before, and she said that all the reporters that cover South Korea were saying that the South Korean government is going to end their short selling ban. The story came out yesterday. We're not ending our ban at all. So the reporters, the Bloomberg, the Reuters, all were trying to get this country to end. They were trying to do it on behalf of probably the hedge funds. And they basically got shot down. It's just amazing because we see it. If they would have said they could end the ban, we would all believe it, but they came back out. And it's right there. So this is a story of how a foreign country, it's not a third world country, is taking control of the equity market and getting rid of the modern day bandits that the U.S. has created, these derivative animals.
Yeah.
And they're shutting it down.
Weapons of mass financial destruction, as Warren
That's
Buffett.
what they are. It just got so out of control, and it's so blatant obvious now. Can you stop showing everybody the destruction? How did the stock go from some $10 to $80 in 4 days, like it's no big deal, and then reverse back down? What was the event? No one got blood. It's so funny, William. Funny you should say that, William. That's something I've been thinking about. When GameStop went to 500, there were dead bodies on the short side all over the place. How come there was nobody this time?
It was pre-planned, boy.
Something smells fishy, and I agree with you.
They were handing out free money to their pals.
I think it was a trap that they let it gap and they got everybody riled up, and because the destruction was so quick, so fierce, and he ended it by getting the companies to give them stock cheaper, right?
Yeah.
And if you go back in time,
Investment banking.
but
It's not really investment banking. It's just taking a slug of stock at double the price you committed for. It's free money.
if you go back to the cover of Forbes from 1988, and I posted the story a few times. I can try to find it. That story is about a group of short sellers, naked short sellers called the Fierro brothers.
I
They were
remember
the
that.
original. They were the original pirates. They were Ken Griffin before Ken Griffin was even born. I think.
Yeah.
And what they did, they naked shorted companies, and they would call you up and say, "William, you're the CEO of Finger Motion, right?
Mhm.
If you don't sell us 3 million shares at $2 tomorrow, we're going to kill your company." And they were naked shorting his William stock down from 10 to 5, and they wanted to get covered, and they would cover, and William would sell them the stock at 2. And we used to hear it on the trading desk. I used to hear it all the time. "Oh, stay away from that stock. The Fierro brothers are after them." I used to hear it. I didn't know what it was. But that story on Forbes is naked short selling decent that went on the cover. It's about the Fierro brothers. And you can read about these guys. They were big guys out of Boca Raton. And what is Boca Raton? Boca Raton is the naked short selling capital of the small banks, not the big players, all the small little guys.
Yeah.
That was a little trip down memory lane that way. I'll get to that story later when I get.
Let's see what this.
So you got Barnes and Noble. Take a look at that. What else? Give me some other names. William, write the symbols down. Text me them later. I can't remember them all.
Well, someone's asking about fee, AMC. AMC's up a little bit today, but it's not. To me, AMC had it squeezed up to $9 or $10. It's over.
Well, the
but
CEO.
who knows?
The
Maybe it
CEO
goes.
keeps raising money. Listen, if the apes can buy the 75 million shares that they just sold, keep going. I don't know, keep buying the shares. I don't know. Keep squeezing them. Keep accumulating them until they get rich. Is the company profitable? I don't know. Eventually, you got to get the profitability. That's how you kill them, right? What did my friend tell us in Lang City?
That's true. You got to get to settlement.
He goes, you get the profitability, and what happens? Like, shorts go away, right?
It's kryptonite.
That's what he said.
This, I don't know what it is. Finger, I guess they have IR guys tweeting all over Twitter, and many questions are asking, what does it mean? Why are they doing that? And then they tweeted, the ex-dividend date is determined after the notice of effectiveness, and the guy doesn't understand it. What happens is they filed a registration statement with the SEC for the warrants. The SEC has to approve it. Once that is in fact notified as being effective, then Finger can set a record date, typically 10 days after the notice of effectiveness or more. So there is no dividend date yet because the SEC hasn't said, hey, it's okay to do this. It'll come.
The SEC, I'm told the SEC has to wait till the earnings to come out to approve it.
They have to wait for the backsheesh.
Whatever the earnings come
there's
out,
two
wherever
cases
when
of
that comes
cash.
out. Oh, I think the earnings come out. The shareholder told me that. Told me up.
That's on Twitter too.
I keep forgetting
NG.
to tell people that.
What's NG? Is that natural gas or is NG a stock? NG, let me look. Oh,
I think that's
Nova
a stock.
Gold. That's Nova Gold. Nova Gold's a great story. And it's
Listen, people, William, you're a mineral guy. You
I am a
understand these
mineral
things.
guy,
So please bring
The-
them up if you see one that's undervalued, William. You know, listen, my older brother told me that copper was going to explode.
Copper.
I told everybody. I put it up on Twitter. My brother gives me ideas all the time, but
I think
he doesn't
copper,
follow things short.
I talked about copper. I didn't have, other than Freeport McMoran, I didn't have any companies in mind, but it's all been up, up, up. And somebody brought up aluminum, that's up. But yeah,
William, on copper, do you know how many pounds of copper you need to make an electric car? I forgot the guy's name. I was on a call from a guy from Asia, a very famous mining guy, name. And I think it was 50 pounds is needed for a car. And I think those big Mercedes, the big Mercedes electric cars, it was even more, like 100 pounds. Everybody wants to Google it, check it out. But they said so much weight in copper goes into these electric cars. So again, maybe that's what's driving these copper prices, driving them up.
132 pounds of copper. An electric
There you
vehicle
go.
requires 132 pounds of copper.
So the smaller cars are probably 50, the other ones are more, I guess. I don't know. But it's an enormous amount of copper, they said.
If you steal the copper
Well, that's
will
what they're
get-
doing now. That's what the thieves are doing in California. They're cutting all the charging stations. They're taking all the chargers. They're taking the copper wire.
Your favorite attorney says hello, pork loin.
I spoke with Richard before. I wanted to make sure that he's still with us. People, if anybody owns GGII, please contact Richard. I contacted 30 people yesterday. And investors, if you are long the stock, please contact Richard. Join up. The more the merrier. We want to get rid of management. Richard needs support of shareholders to join in. And just, you know, you can't yell at us. Do your part. Richard will explain it to you and just hear what he has to say. And let's get rid of management, get new deals in here, and turn it around so we can all make money.
Do you know on the finger warrants, is it 1 for 10?
Yes.
1 for 10.
So if you look at it, 1 for 10, if they're short 227 million shares, plus the other 2 or 3 million more, it's real short, but 2 million. So it's like 230 million. 10% is another 23 million shares that they're going to be short of 25 million shares more just on the warrant. Does everyone understand that?
Yeah.
So the Jeffrey Lynn and the other short seller, the real short that's borrowing, that's standing tall, they're going to owe the dividend. The dividend is there because it F's up the short sellers and the broker dealers. And you can sit there and say, well, it didn't work before, right? William, have you ever gotten your GTI dividend? They've been lying to you for how long?
I've been
A
trying
long
since,
time.
I've been trying aggressively since January, but prior to that, they didn't do it either.
His own broker is lying to him.
Yeah.
Well, if they do change the rules, which I believe it's coming about the short selling, the brokerage firms are going to have to start taking responsibility for what they're doing or they're not doing.
Yeah.
Right? They need to take responsibility. They need to start delivering shares. They start doing that. And short sellers have no idea. They're walking through, they thought it was, walking through the daisies that they could win making short selling forever. Well, my friends, the game is changing, and I'm on the side that's going to win. These guys are going to go down, and I believe it's going to be life-changing. So 227 million, 2 million real shorts gets us up to almost 30 million. To 1 to 10 is another 30 million shares that they're going to be short. That's going to be exercisable. I'm not sure if they said 6 or 7 the strike price. So once it goes above that, all the money on 30 million shares. I don't know about you. If I was short 2 million shares, you have to be criminally insane to sit there short, because now you're gonna owe. He's gonna owe 10%, other 200,000 dividends. Good luck. This is what we call a game of chicken. They're standing there and they're trying to act like they're gonna win, but it ain't happening this time. It's over with. And I've been doing it 24 years. And you can sit there and the people say, well, you never really do this yet. You're doing it 24 years. We did it before. We made money on a lot of things. But think about what you're hearing. Countries are fighting back. The SEC is under attack. Everybody knows it now. It wasn't the same as it was 24 years ago with us and Pat Byrne. That was it. There's many people on the board now, and everybody knows about it. Let's go on to some other stocks. I'm sure everybody has another stock that they look at.
Well, that FFEI, someone mentioned, Finger seems to be,
Is it still working for them?
it looks like it. This
I'm good
MG, Nova Gold, I think is a good one. Yeah, the thing about,
Really? Where do you write them down so you understand? But stop paying attention to them. Put them on your stock. You can follow them.
I'll get a computer that has a screen of them all.
Just write on a piece of paper so we know.
Is that a technology? Pen and paper? Trump made a statement on Truth Social that he's going to get rid of the Biden EV initiatives. Well, what's his name? RFK Jr., I think, made a really sensible point. He said he's all for different energy, different pollution solutions, but let the free market sort it out. And I agree with him. Is Ham going in or out? Ham is exercising right now. So sometimes he's up, sometimes he's down.
I'm right here.
Now your voice is like in a coffee can. It's all right.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's fine.
At night time, I go out drinking in nightclubs and dancing all night, so I'll lose my voice.
What's this? Finger, they say they're not able to report some numbers of certain things were not able to be reported, but it will show in this earnings. Yeah, like I said the other day, I personally am not overly dramatically excited about this earnings report. I think their second quarter, which will be our third quarter, is when they turn positive, and it has the potential of the last time you ever see negative earnings in Finger. That'd be exciting, but it involves waiting a little bit. Is it just me, or is Finger broadcasting the upcoming 10K on Twitter? Is that encouraging? I think they're just trying to communicate.
Well, William, I was always taught companies don't broadcast unless it's good news. They would never. They don't want. Everybody wants to hide the bad news, right?
But I also know from my experience that companies are not allowed to hype good news or even promote good news. It's unfortunately, unless they do it in a broad press release,
Well, on Twitter,
maybe that's it. Maybe that's it.
It's considered fair disclosure. Listen, I was always under the belief as a public company, if you can continually educate your shareholders, it becomes an easy story to understand. Drop it on them on Monday morning on the earnings. Say, what is this? What do they do? What? No one knows what they're doing. A slow education is an easy way to understand how to invest. That's how I look at it.
Oh my gosh. There's pictures of these towns in Iowa just destroyed by tornadoes. People have a lot to deal with in the world. There's not a lot of, let me see what people are saying. You said the SEC has to approve the dividend. So is it possible they will not? No, they will approve it. It's just I don't know what happens, but
You have to go through the chat. It's a procedure.
it's just a bureaucratic. They won't. There's no reason they can say no to it. The cat being delayed is horseshit. Nothing will happen. Well, we'll see. I think the best thing about cat is it's going to raise expectations, and then if nothing happens, people are going to say, "Wait a minute, the problem didn't go away." You know, it could be good.
Listen, if you're nervous about the cat, go out and buy puts on your favorite choice stock. Go short DJT, all the ones that are high fly is GameStop, because they're all going to go down. So buy puts.
It's the year of the cat.
Listen, if politicians all vote against it, that tells you how deadly they're all trapped. It's only going to get worse. Devin Nunes, Kennedy, they all know. They understand it.
Well, it's like Patrick Burns said on the Zoom call. He said they told him, they being the people at the congressional offices, Patrick, you're correct. You're right. But you know what? Goldman Sachs just sent in a couple of guys and girls, lobbyists, and the senator is going to vote with the opposition.
Right.
Fingers up in the green after the close, 313.5. NVIDIA is up $1.50 at $950.
So NVIDIA had stock up to 1,000 billion.
It did?
You think it? No, you said that, right? You said that.
Yeah.
Maybe the other day.
Yeah, but I guess I'm going to be wrong. I still think it's going to go to 1,000. It's been as high as 974. Could be wrong.
Oh, that's the second time it's done that. So listen, you know, if you own it, maybe that's time to liquidate some and you get that slide down the hill. Be careful.
Another question on the stock that begins at the end of the alphabet. Does your friend still hold it?
Yeah. I told everyone yesterday he believes it's going shortly. What makes it go? I have no idea. GDC will go. That's the one I. That's how I'm basing my.
Yeah, that's true. You're fading it out. I can't hear what you're saying. Can't hear what you're saying. In the year of the cat. Can't hear you. Oh, I thought you were going through the Lincoln Tunnel.
I'm waiting for people to tell you to stop so I can comment on it. No idea. Do you still buy? Does everyone think you should still buy Tesla electric cars? Is that still a play? I don't know. I think Tesla. I don't know what else they do. I don't know much about Tesla except electric cars. If the price of copper is going up and the material is going up, Tesla keeps lowering the car. They can't keep lowering the prices of their cars, right? They gotta raise them. You know, is that a negative? I don't know. I've never traded auto stocks, so it's not my thing. You know, it's funny on auto stocks. Remember, the analysts can figure out almost to the exact amount of what they're doing. So be careful on those things. These guys can count how many cars are being made, how many are being sold. It's a pretty exact science. You know, when you're getting involved in a cancer stock or medical stock, it's hard to figure out what the hell's going on. But on the auto cars, or they can figure out the shipments. They can figure out what's going on. They call it a channel check. They check the channel to see how they're doing. And these people are pretty accurate.
So today is Novak Djokovic's birthday, and he's the first person to be age 37 and #1 in the world. It's pretty important.
My question is to you: is who's going to die first, him or the chairman of the DCII? We can't get out of the way.
All right.
People, come on. Let's get some
Is
stuff
Alpine
together.
being
Let's
expelled May 26th?
go. Call Richard Hoffman that. He's on the call. Reach out to him on Twitter. He'll give you the answer. I don't know if
Knott's
he's following. The
Knott's
expert on it.
legal landing.
He knows
Sava.
everything about.
Someone is talking about Sava. It's heavily shorted. It's got an also.
SAVA, correct?
Correct.
What price is that stock?
Let me look. SAVA. Cassava. It is 21.75. It's been as high as 32 this year and as low as 12.32.
Well, we could say it's right in the middle. It's a tough spot. I don't know. I'll look at it tonight. I'll look at it.
It'll fluctuate.
Well, listen, if you know a lot about it, if the market sells off, you buy it at 18, 19. When it runs over 20, you can sell it again. If you want to stay long, what can you do? You sell the rally, then buy some cheap calls. You buy 25 if you think it's going to scream. It sounds to me that the shorts are in trouble in a stock that's hanging around 20. They can't knock it out. Knock it out means try what they've done to Finger. Knock it down pretty. Hopefully people give up. It's not happening there. Anyway.
There's not a lot of questions. It might just be a boring night.
Well, listen, I told you before, I would love to turn this into.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea.
I
Great
think it's
idea.
great. I think it's good for everyone. It brings you into something like, listen, if you're following a stock and you got a real good feeling or you understand it, tell us all. We're all on a trading desk together. Instead of looking at the wall, we all look at it sitting in our rooms by ourselves. Turn it into a trading desk. Let's talk about
I love that idea. And I also like starting to think about, because I tell it to myself all the time, it's about trying to make money, not about making money in one stock. And sometimes your capital takes a huge blow, which Ham is trying to teach everyone. Don't let your pool of capital go down too much. Get out. But
listen, I can't tell you how many times that I traded something and I lose $5,000, $8,000, and I say, okay, I start trading other names. I make $500, $600. It's okay. I'm down $8. I make back $1,100. I'm down $6,900. So all of a sudden I make a hit of $3,000. I'm down $3,000 or $39,000, and that's how I dig myself out of these graves. It happens. People, we lose. It's just the way it is.
yeah.
Ken Griffin wins every day. Lynn Partners wins every day because they're stealing. We're risking money.
Yeah.
It's very different. So when you're risking, if the playing field is level, we're all risking money and we lose. That's the difference in this game. These guys are just stealing.
And that's one thing. If you're hoping for one of these to really go, but if you're building back some losses, sometimes you have to do it a bunt, a single, a double, a stolen base while you wait for the grand slam or the
you gotta get
3-run.
You gotta get a run across. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Listen, I got it. I'm extended. I can't do that right now. So I'm sitting here holding my breath. I'm not nervous at all. I believe I have the right horse. Okay. It was a long shot in 2018, and now it's the favorite. That's how I look at it. In 2018, December 31st, 2018, is when they just got the contract for the top-up business in China. So at that
Right.
point, it was just starting, and it was 100-1 to win.
Right.
And it's paid off a couple of times already. Squeezed to 17, back down, up to 10, back down, back up to 7, back down. And you know what? It's each time the company keeps getting stronger. It's listed on the NASDAQ. They're ringing the bell. They got new ventures, this, that. I mean, things are getting stronger. And you have to look at it that way.
Yeah.
If they had no new business and sales were stalling, they were making $50 million a year, and now the next quarter is down to 32 because their product's outdated, or then it's a different story. Then I got to start thinking about that. I'm making a bet on a horse that's going to lose. But the company keeps coming out with new, bolder ideas, and you know what? At that point, I think I'm on the right one. That's all. Listen, I could be 100% wrong, but that's the way it goes. And that's why I tell everybody, my friend just said, Schwab just asked me again if I wanted to loan my finger shares. He said no. Thanks. Schwab just asked my friend Paul, who owns a lot of shares in Finger, to loan his shares, and he said no. Again, if anyone who has shares in Finger, do not loan them out. Keep the pressure on these idiots. See that? You got real-time information.
NVIDIA is up $19, $9.70. $9.76.
That's the big boy game. You're rolling
$9.80.
the dice either way.
No,
That's
not
tough.
9. There it is, $9.84.
I'd rather look at SABA. I don't know anything about it, but it's had a high 30s. It's
$9.90 almost. $9.88, $9.89,
there you go.
$9.90,
Sure
$9.93,
enough. They're gonna
$9.94,
take
$9.97, $9.97.5, $9.92, $9.98, $9.98.
what? They just come out with some news.
$9.94, $9.91. No, I don't see any news, but it's $9.95.
Oh, listen, we don't need to talk about NVIDIA. People, let's talk about realistic names. Please, I would love to help William. And when I'm next week after the holiday, let's jot down names. Let's talk about
I think it's a great idea. We could be like a cloud trading desk.
We don't need to be Reddit. We
Right.
are Reddit. Reddit is a waste of time. Reddit is a short waste of time. Don't ever buy that stock. It's manipulated trash. Give it a couple of years, you'll be buying it for pennies. It's garbage.
Out there somewhere, there's a short keeping NVIDIA under 1,000 just to spite me. No,
It'll go through that. They can't stop.
I don't think
You
I
gotta be-
matter.
You have to be insane. That's a freight train either way. It's too dangerous.
I don't think it matters. It went as high as 997.92. That's about as close to 1,000 as you can get without being
Right.
1,000.
Right.
Um,
You were right on it. Well, listen, it's 4:30. I eat dinner at 5:30. I play pickleball at 7 tonight, so I'm a busy bee.
all right.
Anyway, listen, William, I really want to turn.
I think
this
it's a
into
great idea, Ham. And
Well, listen, it takes the press. We don't need to talk about it. We know. Listen, naked shorts. Find your bet now. The game is going to end. Okay. I don't know all these other names. Pick your horse, and I think it's time that you figure out where to make your investment because it's coming. All right. This fraud is ending. I've been doing it for 24 years. This is the closest it's come. It's ready to go. If you don't think so, then go buy puts, go the opposite way. But if you think like we're thinking, you can read the press. I'm not making the news up. South Korea is banging the door down for us, and the U.S. is looking at it, getting insulted. I put the sign up there. South Korea is pissing on the U.S. They're not insulting them. They're pissing on them. That's how brutal this is. You think, the U.S. doesn't pay attention to South Korea? Trust me. Goldman and all these guys are looking over there saying, we got to do something about these guys. They're making too much noise. But it's coming to a head. Find your horse, Make your bet because it's going to explode soon. They can't hold them down. I told you where my bet. I made my bet. You could find your own. Do your homework. I talk about it. Ask questions if you like, but I cannot inform you or tell you to buy a stock. That I can't do. All right.
All right.
If you were my friends, I tell you. Anyway, listen, everyone. Have a great night. And I'm just going to go do some stuff and get ready for tomorrow.
All right. Thank you. We'll get
Thank
them.
you. Thanks.
Call ended.
Okay, so Wickedums, the New York Stock Exchange is owned by the Intercontinental Exchange now. Let me see. I can't find any information on that. But it used to be that the New York Stock Exchange was where all the big boys traded, and it's still true, but it's all computerized now. They don't have it. They don't have the the specialists anymore. NASDAQ used to be the premier over-the-counter company. I think under the leadership, lack thereof, of Adena Friedman, NASDAQ is just a better place to slaughter companies who need capital. To me, the new NYSE would be a better place to trade because I don't think it's rife with the short selling tricks. But I suppose there's no real reason why it's any better than NASDAQ. NASDAQ sucks. NVIDIA announced a 10-for-1 split. That would make it go up. NVIDIA. My tattooed lady. NVIDIA. All right, so I'm going to call it early because my head is pounding. I need to drink some water and get ready for tomorrow. But I appreciate everybody. Hi, John. I appreciate everybody signing in. I sent out something like 40 emails this morning, and I'm sure I have more to go. If you didn't get an email and you want to hear about the gold company, write Farrand, my last name Balanced, Farrand Balanced at Gmail. We have raised some money. They're doing a small raise ahead of a planned bigger boy coming in or girl coming in to take half the company. And I think it's a great opportunity to get in really inexpensively. There is risk, but I think it's 10x, 100x, or 1000x. And I also think we should know by the end of the year, certainly by the end of the first quarter. So it's exciting. No pressure at all, but it's just there's no markup. There's no my emails. I sent the I don't know what to call it, the PowerPoint they created. There's more information to be had, but I just sent the PowerPoint, and I just asked for name, address, phone number, and an indication of interest, nothing binding. And then I can have the company send the documents to you. And if there's any questions, I can answer. I can call you, whatever. Or I can get somebody else to call you. $3.2 billion tons of gold in Montana. I think ultimately the United States Let me just see what. Uh, yeah, I gotta, so, um, 3.2 million tons is a lot of ounces, but I don't know how many ounces it is. 105,000 ounces? That doesn't sound right. So it's 32,000 ounces per ton. So it's 3.2 billion times 32. Okay. I think. Times. I don't know. Wickedums. I don't know how many ounces that is. But this company I just sent out to everybody probably, if successful, it'll probably be over 100 million ounces. The Carlin Trend has produced something like that and still has that much more to go. In Alaska, Nova Gold has a huge project that it has a lot of gold. So I think the United States can rescue itself monetarily by the gold discoveries we have. I don't know if it's bullish or bearish per se, because to you, it's a new discovery, to me too. But I don't know how many years it takes to bring that supply into the market. And I don't see it as bearish. I don't see it as bearish. But obviously, as gold prices rise, supply will go up. I mean, that's basic econ 101. Billion. 3.2 billion tons of gold. How many ounces in a ton? $32,000. So my computer, here, let me do it on this computer. $3.2 billion tons times 32,000 ounces. It's no, that's wrong. I don't know. It's a lot of ounces. It's a big thing. It's pretty impressive. That discovery is pretty impressive, but I can't work it out. My head is just every word. It's 32,000 ounces per ton. If you have 3.2 billion tons of gold, that's a shit ass ton of gold. Let me see this discovery you're talking about. I don't see the gold discovery you're talking about. I think that's quite a large number you've come up with. but I don't see any confirmation when I search the news that Montana has a large gold discovery recently, anyway. Yeah, thank you. Oh, I love Gronk. I think Gronk needs a big hug or a treat. I don't know, Louis. I sent out 40 emails. The amount that's available is 400,000 to 500,000, maybe more. I think they might take more, but we've already raised a little over 100,000, and I think as the documents get out, it'll accelerate. But point is, if 40 people, I probably missed some people. So say I have 50 people I need to contact. Not everybody's going to do it. If they all did 10,000, that's $500,000. So if some people do more than that, other people can do less than that. And I think almost any amount is worthwhile, but at 4 cents, $4,000 buys 100 shares. And based on the bigger raise to build out the pilot plant, that'll be approximately, potentially, I mean, these are all kind of, I mean, they're not really guesses, but they're predictions, not promises. But that'll be worth about 4,000 ounces of gold. And if the company is sold after the testing, let's say only for $100 an ounce, I think it'll be more than that, but $100 an ounce, $4,000 is worth $400,000. And I mean, those are returns that we were trying to get in short squeeze plays. This is a public company, who has been, it's at the very bottom of the food chain and reporting chain. So it does not trade. It effectively is a private company. But I think that's a good thing because the shorts can't short it. And Louis Shotland, if you can send me, God, my head is pounding. I wonder why that is. If you can send me your email, I'll forward the little PDF on it. There's more information. But what I think I'm going to do is have the company send you the subscription documents. And so all I need is your name, phone number, and how much you might do. Until you wire the money, you're not committed. You're not committed to any number until you wire it. But my own opinion is there's a lot of investors that are wealthy in this company. And as soon as investments start coming in, investors will start investing because they don't need to be educated. Oh, I don't want to miss out, that kind of thing. And so I think it could close down pretty quickly. But I'm not trying to put pressure on. I really am not. It's fair and balanced at gmail.com. Farrand, my last name, balanced at gmail.com. And yeah, I think I talked to the person who will be sending everything out to you, and she said small amounts are okay. But there's a limit to how many investors they can have that are too small in this offering. But we're not there yet. And I don't know. I think $10,000 is a nice number because it works out to like 250. It works out to 10,000 ounces of gold at the mid-range target. 40,000 obviously is 1 million shares. And the thing is, this is risk money. It's been 17 years. I bought in on private placements here. The lowest I paid was 45 cents a share, but the deal wasn't done. Now we're just right at the end where it's finished. So I wish I had waited until now, but hey, life is such. But using $40,000, that's 1 million shares. I think there's 4 exits, as I put in my email. One is it disappoints and there's more delay and all that. I don't think that's going to happen, but you got to acknowledge that risk is there. The most likely thing is they raise the money, build out the pilot plant, and sell the company for $100 an ounce, maybe $400 an ounce. But at $100 an ounce, it works out to $4 a share. So we're paying 4 cents. And the most likely case is a sale of the company at $4. That's 100 times your money. There is a risk that the current shareholders sell the company because they're all older, they're all tired, they're wealthy. They could vote to sell this company to a buyer now, and that's always a risk. If that were to happen, I think based on the fact that we already received an offer that got turned down, I think it'll be around 40 cents a share. So that's 10 times this investment. And the second most likely outcome is the company, once it produces gold in the pilot plant, it seeks a joint venture partner, or it just seeks a financial partner, builds out its own plant, and starts producing gold. And for symmetry, I use $40 a share in that potential over time. But actually, the number, when I did the calculation, was more than double that. But just to keep it simple, $40, that's 1,000 times this investment. So it's got those kind of upsides. It's gold. There are risks. It's nano gold. But that's what Barrick and Newmont both produce in Nevada now, nano gold, invisible gold. The difference here is this has a coating. And that's been the bear, is how to get that coating off and get the gold out. And I believe they've cracked it over the last 4 years. And I intend to participate in this round if I can. I'm not Rockefeller, but I'm going to put in for it. Anyway, that's the story. Sada Aman. I have some wait for forward split. Is it a forward split or just a regular split? I didn't see it. 10 for 1, or is it a 1 for 10? I think they're doing a 10 for 1. I think it's going up, Sada. But I think I think the stock market, look, the stock market is in nosebleed territory, and it's always at risk for the bond market to collapse. But we are clearly going to war, clearly putting more liquidity into the system to help the banksters. That's my opinion. And I think in this, the stock market is going much, much higher. Will it happen in a couple of weeks and then it's all over? Could be. Will it go up to new highs by the election and then it's all over? Could be next year. But I do think we're in a blow off final phase of the everything bubble. Everything's going up, everything. And when it turns around, it'll be hell. NVIDIA will, I think the stock market ultimately will be down. I don't know. I'd have to do the arithmetic, but these numbers you're seeing in these stocks, everything's down 85%, everything's down 90%, everything's down 95%. I think that can come. And there'll be a rotation out of stocks like NVIDIA. But NVIDIA is such a great story with the chips and everything. I think it's going a lot higher. I really do. But you can't make a mistake selling some of it, because if the bond market collapses, the stock market is going to go so far down so fast, they'll stop trading, they'll shut the banks, everyone will be staring at their accounts in horror when it happens. I don't think we're there yet, but it's going to come. So it's playing with fire. But anyway, Saad, I think NVIDIA is going to go over 1,000 and probably decisively over 1,000 before it collapses. But you've been in it a long time. I would sell some of it and look at a company like, I was sitting with the former CEO of Netherlands Soulens and Associates and his girlfriend, who's a petroleum engineer. And she told me there's only going to be one oil company at the end of the day. It's going to be Exxon. But if you were to put some money in Exxon, for example, ExxonMobil, I forget the symbol. I know what it used to be, so I think I know what it is now. Yeah. It's 115. It goes up. It goes up. But the dividend is, I don't see the dividend here. Anyway, it's got a dividend. I don't see it here. But Exxon, Chevron, some of the pipeline companies, they all have yields. And I would start moving a position as big as NVIDIA into something that gives you a income stream. I like, some of you can figure it out, but some of the medical companies are going to be around because people are aging, food companies, war. I don't personally want to invest in it, but every single war company is going to be doing great over the next few years. But I think oil and gas companies are a place to put some money. And as the market, although I will tell you, Saad, some technicians think oil is going back down first. So I'm not saying it's something that's going to move straight up. It might just be in a period of accumulation. But and then I think I have to look at it. Where is Freeport McMoRan trading? If it's already way up, but some of the gold companies, Nova Gold's a good one. But you don't have to go very far. Barrick and Newmont are both excellent companies. And one of them has a dividend. Anyway, NVIDIA is not, you're at 1,000 now. I don't know what you paid. It's not going to go to 10,000 in my judgment, unless the dollar collapses. So you've had a good run. You got to leave something on the table for the next guy. And if it goes to, if it goes to 1,500, it's up 50% from here. I don't think it will go to 1,500. But if it collapses, you could lose a lot of money. And like I'm saying, companies like Exxon, Chevron, Apache, although they don't call it that anymore, APA. I think these are going to be the heart of future portfolios. I don't know if Coca-Cola or a Pepsi is going to be good, but these big conglomerates, our nation's got to eat, as George Bush says it. No, my type is bad, but I'm old and my light is bad. I don't know, David. I don't know if you typed bad. Why did you send your idea? Your platform idea to Saudi Arabia, not to. Oh, it's out everywhere. Like any idea, you need somebody to jump in the pool first. But the problem in Saudi and in the UAE is getting the license. Apparently, there's no problem for the money, but we got to get the license. We have sent the idea to Saudi Arabia, to South Korea. There's no certainty. I have no connections I have one, 6 degrees of separation connection in South Korea. I don't have huge connections there. I like to think I still have some good friends in the Middle East, but my dearest friend, well, one of my handful of dearest friends, we're estranged right now. So I don't know how successful I'll be in the Middle East. Personally, I think the Middle East is a better place to do it than South Korea. But that's just a bias, and we're going to take a trip there to South Korea. It's out of my control. I'm not in control of that. Hey, William, thank you for that. It is a forward split. That's wild. Forward split. Well, I think the stock will go up. Oh, that's so nice. I'll give Lucky a pat on the head. He doesn't let me hug him. Lee, I'm gonna put my shares into the lawsuit too. That's what I think I'll do. Oh, it's Wyoming. Wyoming. All right, let me look in Wyoming. All flyover country, huh? You got to get from the highly educated blue states on each coast and everything in the middle. Waste of time. Wyoming gold discovery. $18.42. All right, $18.42. I don't see that one either, Wickedham's, but I'm sure it's there. I do know this one, rare earth discovery in Wyoming. $2.34 billion metric tons of rare earth minerals in Wyoming. That's not gold, but rare earth minerals include oxides of neodymium, praseodymium, samarium, dysprosium, and terbium. The extraction process would involve an open pit on the surface. So anyway, it's not gold, wickedums. All right, guys, I'm gonna sign out. I think the lowest is Lewis, or Louis. The lowest, as I told somebody who I sat with on it, the bigger orders will take priority, but I don't think they're going to run out yet anyway. And smaller orders, I'll vouch for. I'm putting my name on the line. So that's where we are. All right, I'm going to sign out. I'm going to wish everybody peace, love, and puppies. And, let's say our prayers for peace. And, I'll come on tomorrow. Maybe I'll do something tonight, but I've just got to take a break right now. So, cheers, mate.